Have you ever looked someone dead in the eyes while they were telling you a perfectly constructed, highly detailed lie, and you didn't even flinch? You just sat there. You nodded your head. You let them finish their entire performance. But inside your chest, your spiritual alarm bells were ringing so violently that you could barely even hear the words coming out of their mouth. You didn't have any physical proof yet. You hadn't checked their phone. You hadn't caught them in the act. But your spirit simply said, "They are lying." And then, weeks or maybe months later, the truth finally spills out. The mask drops. The hidden agenda is exposed. And when you look at them and calmly explain that you knew what they were doing the entire time, their face completely drops. The color drains from their cheeks, and they ask you the one question that proves you just won the psychological war. Wait, how did you know? I want to sit down today and decode exactly why that specific sentence is the ultimate white flag of surrender from a toxic person. Because right now, there are people in your life who are absolutely terrified of you. You are scaring them, and you aren't even raising your voice. You are scaring them with your silence, and you are paralyzing them with your intuition. To understand the sheer panic happening in their brain right now, we have to look at the psychology of the deception ego. People who operate with hidden agendas, narcissists, manipulators, and chronic liars, build their entire identity around their ability to outsmart other people. They think they are the smartest person in every single room they walk into. They spend hours crafting their fake personas. They know exactly when to smile, exactly what tone of voice to use, and exactly how to play the victim to get sympathy. Deception is their currency. It is the only way they know how to survive. So, when they tried to run their usual script on you, they fully expected you to fall for it. They expected you to be gullible because they mistook your kindness for blindness. But you possess something that completely short-circuits their entire psychological framework. You carry what I call X-ray discernment. Let's break down how this actually works, because it is not magic, and it is not just you being a good guesser. Your discernment is a highly advanced, deeply integrated combination of your past trauma and the Holy Spirit. Think about your childhood, or the deeply toxic relationships you survived in your past. When you live in a chaotic environment, your brain physically changes to keep you safe. You develop hypervigilance. You learn how to read the micro-expressions on a person's face. You notice when the energy in a room shifts by a single degree. You notice the slight hesitation in someone's text message. You notice when their smile doesn't quite reach their eyes. Your brain learned how to scan for danger before the danger even arrived. For a long time, that hypervigilance felt like a curse. It gave you terrible anxiety. But when you surrendered your life to the Creator, God took that trauma response and He baptized it. He turned your hypervigilance into divine intuition. He took your ability to read a room and connected it directly to the Holy Spirit's warning system. Now, you don't just read body language, you read spirits. You can literally feel the rotting intention behind a person's shiny, polite compliment. You can feel the heavy, envious energy of a fake friend sitting next to you on the couch, even while they are smiling and telling you how proud they are of your success. When you looked at that toxic person and called out their hidden agenda before they even made a move, you broke their brain. You stripped them entirely naked in the psychological realm. When they asked, "How did you know?" what they were actually saying was, "I hid my tracks perfectly. I deleted the messages. I told the right lies. How did you bypass all my security cameras and see directly into my vault?" They are terrified of you because a manipulator's biggest fear is being perceived accurately. If they cannot deceive you, they cannot control you. And if they cannot control you, they have absolutely zero power in your presence. But I want to talk about the agonizing phase you had to go through to finally trust this gift. Before you got to this level of unbothered confidence, there was a season where they almost convinced you that you were crazy. Do you remember that? You would bring up a gut feeling, and they would instantly hit you with the textbook gaslighting routine. They would say, "You are just being paranoid. You have trust issues. You are overthinking everything. Why are you always looking for a problem?" They weaponized your anxiety against you. They made you feel so guilty for questioning their motives that you actually started apologizing to them for your own intuition. You sat in your room crying, thinking there was something wrong with your brain. You thought you were ruining relationships because you couldn't just relax and trust people. But you weren't paranoid. You were just early. Your spirit was picking up on the ending of the movie while you were only 10 minutes into the first act. And the hardest part of being a chosen one is having to sit through the rest of the movie, waiting for the physical evidence to catch up to what your spirit already knew on day one. Well, the physical evidence finally caught up. The truth came to the light, and the universe handed you the most massive, undeniable receipt to prove that your gut was right all along. So, what is the new rule of engagement going forward? How do you operate now that you know your internal radar is 100% accurate? The new rule is this: you no longer require physical proof to walk away from a bad situation. I need you to let that sink into your spirit today. For years, your empathetic heart required a smoking gun before you would finally cut someone off. You felt like you needed hard evidence, a confession, or a massive betrayal to justify setting a boundary. You would stay in toxic friendships and draining relationships, waiting for the knife to actually hit your back so you would have a good enough excuse to leave. That era is completely over. If your spirit feels heavy around someone, you leave. If their words say, "I love you," but their energy says, "I am competing with you," you quietly pack up your energy and exit the room. You do not owe anyone an explanation for why your spirit is rejecting them. You do not need to sit them down and present a PowerPoint presentation of their red flags. When the Holy Spirit whispers, "This person is not safe," you do not ask for a second opinion. You listen, you nod, and you move. The people who are meant to be in your life will never make your spiritual alarm bells ring. The right people will feel like a deep, cleansing breath of fresh air. They will calm your nervous system, not activate it. Do not ever let anyone make you feel crazy for seeing the things they are desperately trying to hide. You are a human lie detector. You carry a frequency of truth that instantly exposes the shadows, And the only people who are scared of the light are the ones who are hiding something in the dark. I really want to hear from you today. Have you ever had a moment where your gut feeling was screaming at you about a person or a situation, but you had absolutely zero physical proof? And then months later, you found out you were exactly right. What was their reaction when they realized you knew? Drop that story in the comments. Let's create a massive wall of proof today that a chosen one's intuition never, ever misses. Keep trusting your gut. It has a perfect track record. I am incredibly proud of your growth.